All right, hello everyone. We're back with Cash Capital. We got our fourth portfolio update. Been a little bit inconsistent with the content, but now it's December, it's Christmas time. Got a lot more content coming out, so everybody be on the lookout for that.
The real reason we have been doing content is because my son got his finals done. So now his finals are done, and he says he wants to focus on content, which is great because there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the market. But my son did pretty good on his finals. Proud of him, and he's a finance major, so this is right up his alley. So we're ready to go.
Yeah, if anybody is watching as a college student, they understand how finals can get. But yeah, happy is behind me now. We gonna get into our portfolio. All right, you see?
Yeah.
All right, we're up to 1,300. So I think our last portfolio update we're at like 1,200. It's up like $100 since then. Up 62 in a month. So we're gonna break down where that's coming from.
I think most of the profit comes from your account.
Yeah, but we're gonna see. Well, I think you're right. Yeah, so right now at 633, I think last time I was around like 620. So like another like $10 in gains. Yeah, so AMD sold off a little bit last time after Google's report to have Meta use their TPU chips back up to like 220. We talked about whenever it goes below 200, it's a great buying opportunity. Not really too much news about it since then. I definitely think it's still a great stock to be holding on to and something I'll be adding to as well.
Yeah, if you see the 52-week highs, 267, and like we said, back to it came back to 200 twice. Both times people bought the dip. So this market, guys, you guys got to pay attention because we're about to move into a very interesting year. The Fed just cut interest rates today by a quarter percent. And we're looking for Fed Jerome Powell to get out of office, and Trump is going to bring his guy in, and everyone's looking for him to be very dovish. What dovish means is they're looking to really be aggressive in cutting rates so we can get the economy going, especially the housing market. That's what they really need to get going. So, any dips, guys, I want you guys to pay attention. Any dips in good companies, AMD, Google, all the stocks my son got, except maybe Lululemon. But AMD, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, those stocks dip. Meta, buy the dip on them, guys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we talked about rate cuts today, really no surprise, but what's really going to be interesting is, what happens next, who Trump appoints as the next Fed chair, and, how much they're going to cut rates to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for AMD. So now we got Google. Google's become the powerhouse in the AI space. Pretty much Google's done like a multitude of things correctly. Their search business is doing well. Waymo is dominant in autonomous cars. Now they're, selling AI chips to other AI hyperscalers. But I do want to talk about just like the sentiment on Google. The beginning of the year, Google was, sentiment was down. People thought Google was done. ChatGPT was going to take over their search business and it's going to be over. But I think if you're looking to get into, AI companies or just companies as a whole, you want to get into companies that have, lower sentiment at the moment. Like when Google was low, that was a great buying opportunity. Now it might not be as much of a great buying opportunity. But I do think there's other companies that, have low sentiment that's oversold. Maybe like Oracle. Oracle's, sold off recently. They just reported earnings today. Sold off a little bit more. But I think a lot of these companies are oversold and they're great buying opportunities. So if you're looking to get into companies, you want to get in when the sentiment is not as good.
Just to piggyback off what you're saying, Google, um, they were almost left for dead in this AI race because they weren't moving, and what was hanging over their head was the lawsuit, that the antitrust lawsuit that has been cleared. So they kind of have a free runway to go because you know not only is their search business Google the best, but also their AI, Google Gemini, is incredible, and they just upgraded it. What's the upgraded Google Gemini? What is it called?
Gemini 3, I didn't talk about that, but
Gemini 3.
yeah.
Yeah, you should talk about that because when I'm on Google Gemini, they're like, "Do you want to try Gemini 3?" And they're like, and I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And I do a crazy search and it breaks it down even more. I'm like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, for sure. I think Gemini is the main chatbot that I use. I don't even really use ChatGPT like that anymore.
I don't use ChatGPT at all because it's so convenient. You're on Google and you could just bust down a Google Gemini search. I agree.
Yeah, that's true. But Gemini is one of the top AI models, so
The only thing I would say with Google is if you move down a little bit, Maddox, on that chart, get down to PE ratio. You know where price to earnings ratio, folks. With this big run up, we gotta look at valuation now. Our forward PE is still around 30, which is pretty comparable, so it might be a little bit more room to run. But just pay attention to that as the stock keeps running. The PE ratio will get higher and higher if it continues to be an aggressive run. So just always keep an eye on that PE. That price to earnings is very important.
yeah, that's something we talk about a lot. And when I first bought Google, the PE was at like 20. So, you want to look at undervalued companies, but you also want to evaluate the company more on other metrics as well. The P doesn't really tell the whole story because sometimes companies they might be overvalued, but they're overvalued for a reason, and some companies might be undervalued for a reason. But definitely a great metric to look at, anyways.
So also, guys, it's a very very easy calculation on how to calculate PE. All you have to do is take the current share price, okay, and divide that by the earnings per share. And the earnings per share and the share price are right in the overview of the stock. So you can get the PE ratio very easy. Again, just by looking at the current share price and calculating the earnings per share of the stock. So it's a very easy metric. Like Maddox says, you have to compare it not to the overall market, but compare it to other companies in that sector, and that'll give you a good idea of what the PE ratio is. You want to look for a low PE in that area, but the hyperscalers, they're probably not going to have a low PE now because they're going to grow into that valuation. So just something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. You want to look at the P ratio relative to the industry, but also the P ratio relative to the history of the company. I think that's something to look at as well. And I also want to say that I'm learning now as I'm learning more about finance. A lot of these terms might seem very complicated, but I think, the calculations behind them or the reason behind them is actually very simple. I think in finance, a lot of things just have, very fancy names and overcomplicated, but, everything's pretty much, straightforward once you look into it.
Very true.
All right, next we got Lululemon. So Lululemon ran back up to 186 now. Before it was at like 165. So this is good. Retail has been reporting earnings, and retail earnings been good. So pretty much a lot of companies in the retail sector have been performing. And Lululemon actually reports earnings tomorrow, as of the time we're recording this. So definitely looking forward to see what they say in the earnings call tomorrow. And depending how their earnings call goes, I might be looking, to buy a little bit more, or maybe not. So we'll see what
If you
happens.
go to that chart, Maddox, go a little bit under and then click the chart where it says, no, not there, under, it says show more. Go down, 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 right there. Yep. Go down. We told you guys, if you make that chart bigger, kind of where we are, go down more. Okay. Now, a little bit of technical analysis. If you guys see that support, if you guys look down at that 160, what is that level down there where it bottomed?
165.
165. It hit 165 once, twice, three times, four times. It hit that 165 level. We told you guys that stock was bottoming. Okay? 165 level kept hitting it. When a stock keeps hitting a level and keeps rejecting off of it, that means it doesn't want to go below that level. Okay? And that is an indication of where you should be getting into a stock. Okay? That is showing you four times it hit support at 165. So what it's saying is bottoming. So I think that's a stock that's looking to bottom and actually do a bearish to bullish reversal. Okay, and that's sort of the definition of a bearish bullish reversal is when a stock makes a huge decline and then it reaches a place where it's settling in. It consolidates, meaning it stays around the same price, and it doesn't go lower than that price. And then that stock will eventually start to go up again. And I think, depending on tomorrow's earnings call, what I do believe, it's not going back down to 165. And if it does, I want to see what happens. If it breaks 165, that means it'll go lower to 165 because it's called breaking support. But if it stays at 165 and continues to consolidate and stay around that area, that's another buying opportunity for you guys. Okay, so just pay attention to that little bit of technical analysis. The other thing I want to show you on this chart is if you can see there's two gaps. There's a gap between, what is that, 200 and 190? And then there's another gap up there between 250 and like 300, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't write on that chart right now because you got control. But on Wall Street, they say 90% of gaps get filled. So we don't know when that gap's going to get filled, but that gap pretty much will get filled. So this stock is looking pretty good on a technical basis right now. Mentally, it's still got some things it's working out because there's a lot of competition. But technically and also seasonality of this stock because of Christmas has a lot of things working for it. So look for Lululemon, and I see it on this chart here. It looks like a bearish to bullish reversal. You may want to get in this stock based on what they do on earnings.
For sure. Yeah. So definitely some good technical analysis. And then technical analysis for everybody out there is when you're analyzing a stock based off its prices. It's good to buy a stock off, whatever technical indicators you have, but definitely make sure you're valuing a stock on the fundamentals as well. We're gonna move on. All right, we got Lumen. So Lumen is a little bit more speculative company that I have. It's pulled back to like 866. It might have been around this level, our last portfolio update. But yeah, this is my bet on AI infrastructure. I know it's a telecommunications company now, but they're really pivoting to AI infrastructure. Yeah, so their last earnings report didn't go so well. They have a new CTO, but yeah, it's not really something I'm worried about in the long term. So definitely curious to see where this company goes. All right, next we got Roku. I think last portfolio update might have been around like 95, and we said if it goes below 90, that'd be below 100, that'd be a good buying opportunity. Now it's back up to 105. I don't really have too much to say about the stock. Still a stock that I like potential to be adding to it as well. And it's performed a lot better than a lot of the other companies in the broadcasting and TV industry. But I do have a fun fact I didn't notice. Roku actually means six because it was a
Really?
founder six company. So
It was a founder six company? What does that mean?
like it was his sixth company that he started.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's something. In what language?
in Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That is a fun fact.
yeah. So yeah, it's a
You
fact.
learned something new on
Yeah,
the Cash to Capital podcast. Okay, guys? That's why you got to tune in. Like and subscribe
for real. Yeah,
and share.
yeah. But yeah, that's I think that's it for all the companies in my portfolio. So we'll be moving on to what you got.
All right. So Applied Digital still my AI play. My portfolio is a little bit more redder than Maddox's. I've been getting busted up. I'm down in AI. That's a company I'm just going to keep because they have real revenue. They have actual revenue coming in for AI companies. A lot of these other AI companies don't have revenue yet, so that's another play on them. Not much to say there. I'm just going to hold it long term, and they have some big investments from other companies, and I'm just going to hold it. SE, please don't talk about SE. Nokia. So again, Nokia is like, if I could just keep Nokia until like 2028, because when 6G, they're a huge player in 6G. We're in 5G now. Nokia is gonna own 6G. Nvidia is one of the companies that has bought a lot of their shares. I keep buying shares of this company. I'm up to like I think 30 shares. I'm just gonna keep buying every paycheck, and hopefully this stock will continue, to get better and run. So another sort of AI 6G communication play. I made a purchase today.
Ooh,
Uber. Okay, if you guys remember, I told you that I had IoT, which is Samsura. Okay, Samsura had earnings recently, and the stock outperformed. It did really well. So I went from down $30 to up 25, $30. So what I decided to do was to sell that because I was up. I sold it, and I wanted to jump into a play that's down. Okay, Uber, which is down on the day. What is it? Down 6, 7%. It was down more
6%. Yeah.
on the day. But go down to that PE ratio, Max. I want to show you something. Look at that PE ratio, guys. What does it say? 19 and forward 16?
Yeah.
In that industry, that's really, really low. And look at those earnings. Okay? This stock is really performing well. They're going to really benefit from self-autonomous driving cars. They got Uber Eats, of course. Really, really great platform. And this stock really got hit today. So anytime I see Uber go under 90 or 85, I jump in. And because I had that gain on Samsura, I sold Samsura and I jumped into Uber. My price target for this is going to be like, I think there was a go-up, somebody just re-rated the stock up to, I think, a price target of 125. Is that there in the news? Go down. What's that price target? Any price target there changes?
Oh, right here.
Yeah, what does that say? Wolf Research.
Yeah,
Price
125.
target to 125 from 115. So, guys, my price target on this is going to be about 120, 115. That's going to be in the next 6 months, okay? So I'm going to keep buying that too. Stock I really, really like is Uber. They're growing like crazy. I like Lyft as well. I have that in my other portfolio. So Uber and Lyft are going to be, big players in the self-driving cars. So I bought that today. I sold Samsura. And guys, Samsura beat on the top and bottom line. If I get some more money, I'm going to buy that again. That's another stock that's performing. So I might buy some more of that when it drops a little bit. It went up after earnings. And this is what we like to do here, guys, at Cash to Capital. We like to buy stocks when they've been beaten up. Good companies that have been beaten up. Today, for no reason, Uber went down 6%. I think Lyft was down like 8 to 9%. Those are buying opportunities, guys. A low PE stock like Uber, really performing. Guys, jump in on that.
Yeah, definitely an attractive valuation. And shout out to my dad putting his money where his mouth is. He said last portfolio update that it's a good company to buy, and he bought it. So that's very respectable.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely
listen.
great buying opportunity. Like I said earlier, sentiment on Uber has been low, so definitely good. You want to buy these companies during these times. So definitely a great buying opportunity.
Also, guys, you guys can set alerts on stocks. If we should do a class, man. We're gonna do like an intro class to how to set alerts, so that stocks like Uber. I got an alert that Uber. I had it set at 85. I get an alert that it went under 85, and I'm like, 85? What? So there's stocks that I really like in the market. If they pull back, that's when I want to jump in. So this is one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a great buy. We talking about Maxion?
Nah, Maxon's done. Definitely want to talk about Nugget because Nugget is gold. And if you go back, I think I'm in the black on that. I think I'm up on that. I was down for if you go back to the positions, I was down on that for a while, and I think I'm back up now. And the reason I have Nugget, what am I up in that overall? Can't see on your look on the right side. It says gain loss.
Yeah, hold on. Dollars.
$12. What's the percentage?
4%. 7%.
Huh?
7%.
7% up on
Yeah.
that. I should have been buying more when it dips. Guys, we just had an interest rate today. Interest rate cuts means the dollar's going to weaken. It means it's good for commodities. Gold, silver, copper. Okay? Any dip on gold, silver, copper, buy it. Okay. Only thing I'm worried about was silver and copper is that they're tied to production because silver's needed in a lot of different things. So is copper. Copper's needed huge in electric vehicles. So just be careful when silver and copper are tied. But gold isn't. Gold is just a store of value. And really, when interest rates get cut, they usually go up. So I definitely see gold going to 5,000 an ounce. Not sure what it is now, but it keeps going up. I'm just going to keep buying gold. Same thing with Bitcoin. We don't have a lot of Bitcoin in here, but Bitcoin's under 100,000. Definitely a buying opportunity. And with interest rate cuts and liquidity coming into market, we got a couple things coming up. We got Trump saying Trump changed the laws so that people are going to get more refunds in their taxes. So there's going to be more liquidity. and they say that crypto is the biggest show of liquidity. So if there's liquidity in the market, Bitcoin usually goes up. So Bitcoin and commodities, Bitcoin, gold, copper, silver, something you should be accumulating now.
For sure.
And last but certainly not least, my energy play, Uran, still feel really heavy about that. Oklo, Kamiko, really just a couple really solid companies. There's an ETF, and I really just feel good about it. I'm just going to hold it. And speaking of energy, Mattis, go to ticker symbol GEV. This was a big story today. GEV, guys, this is GE Vernova, okay? And if you look on the right in the company profile, read that first paragraph, Matty.
GE Vernova is an energy company engages in the provisions of various products and services that generate, transfer, orchestrate, convert, and store electricity in the United States, Europe, Asia, the Americas, the Middle East, and Africa.
Guys, this company is a monster, okay? They supply company not just in the US, but overseas as well. They just reported today, it wasn't earnings, it was an update. It was an update saying that the company's going to grow 50% already on their 2028 orders. We're in 2025. This company has already backlogged, and people can't get enough of their energy. So, GE Vernova, guys, if you can even get partial shares, okay, the stock's going to go to 1,000 quickly. All right. It's run up a lot here, so just be careful. Wait for a little bit of a pullback, maybe under 700, and just keep accumulating. This is that play on energy with AI. Vernova is also broken off of General Electric, which is a bigger company. They broke the company up into GE Aerospace, GE Vernova, different other companies, and they're all doing well. But this company here, GEV, man, keep an eye on this. Price target for me for this is $1,000 or $1,100 in the next 6 months.
Sure. Well, that pretty much wraps up this portfolio update. Yeah, so a lot of exciting things going on in the markets, a lot of exciting things going on in portfolio. We'll be ramping up our content, so make sure you're on the lookout for that.
That's right, baby. We're going to go hard. We got some classes coming up. We want to get your kids invested early. Cash to Capital is about younger investors. Okay, that's why we did it. I got my son invested early. Remember that UGMA account, Uniform Gift to Minors account. Get that set up. Get your Acorn, Acorns account. Acorn is a really great little site where you can take like $1, $2, $3 a day out of your bank account, and it goes to Acorn, and it's like storing it like an acorn, like a squirrel would. And I use it. It's really great. It's a great way to kind of store. And then what Acorn does is they take that money and they invest it in the market. Acorns is a really good company. You know who's one of the initial investors in Acorns, Maddox?
Cool.
Yes. Give me a name.
You say you?
Huh?
You?
No. I'm talking about like investing in the company where we first started, like big money.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was a big, along with a lot of different other companies. His portfolio is crazy.
Yeah.
He did Coinbase, Acorn, a couple other. Him and Nas, the rapper, they really got some great investments. So something to look at. We want to get your kids invested early. Get them understanding the market. Like Maddox said, he's a finance major. It all sounds like really crazy and really complicated, but when you break it down, you can keep your investment simple. That's why I love Warren Buffett. He keeps investing simple. Over time. Don't try to be a crazy day trader where because day trading is so nerve wracking. I tried it and I pulled my hair out, as you can see. I don't have any more. So,
Yeah.
But guys, man, it's fun investing in the market. As you can see, Max, go to your portfolio, bro, one more time. We've just been investing for a little bit of time. And I think Maddox is up like 20, 30. His whole thing is green. He selected better companies than me. What's your custodial? Overall, what is the total gain? Up $100. What's the percentage?
18, 19.
Up 20%, guys. Up $100. Can you guys use $100 from doing nothing, just going to sleep at night? His money's been working for him. He hasn't been buying more. Imagine if he was buying more, how much he would be up. Okay, So just you want your money to work for you while you're sleeping. That's the goal. At Maddox Money, he's up $100 in the last couple months, and he hasn't done anything, nothing. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So that's where we want you guys to be. Let your money work for you.
yeah. And I really should have been adding more to the positions, but I'm definitely going to be adding more. In the upcoming seasons. Yeah, adding more to positions. That's something else we also want to talk about. Dollar cost averaging, as I say.
That's right.
Yeah, I had something else to say. I forgot it, but we gonna we gonna end it off like that.
What were you gonna say?
I forgot.
You gonna say something about investing a company?
No, I don't remember honestly. It might come back to me later, but we'll talk about it next time.
All right, guys. Thanks for turning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Okay. Open your child up an Acorn account. If you guys need help opening up the investment account UGMA, that could be another thing we could do, Max. Help people open up
Yeah.
the UGMAs. But we're here for you. Cash to capital. Going into 2026, trying to change the game.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.